Welcome! Today we officially test if AI can truly help people make money. The test began yesterday, which was February 19th, 2026. So as I'm recording the program today, you might need to get used to how I refer to the timing. Sometimes I say today, sometimes yesterday, but both refer to the new project started yesterday. Let's skip the small talk and dive straight in. This was yesterday, the 19th. Now, for the stock group. This is the paper trading portfolio managed by my stock agent. We can see that GVG Vernova was purchased. $22,000, which is 27 shares. Then for Google, 100 shares were purchased. IT Aerospace and Defense ETF, 23 shares were purchased. So, yesterday's profit and loss was Vernova, up 1.9%. Then Google, up 1.06%. ITA Defense stock, up 1.13%. Then last night, its decision was to forego chasing the late session. Regarding another small cap stock, GEV failed to break its previous high, so it considered Friday the 20th for profit taking, thus maintaining a 28% cash position. This was a wise move. Let's look at another one, which is the final prediction market, where it has $10,000 in capital. So, for the prediction market, in the end, it purchased one for DeepSeek. Regarding the AI model in March, whether it can be released normally, it purchased $800 worth. Then regarding the federal funds rate, whether to adjust it, it bet on no change. That was a $1,000 investment. Then for the Paramount and Warner merger by June 30th, it invested $500. It purchased in support of the merger. And the last one is OpenAI GPT-5 by the end of the year. Whether it can be released normally, it purchased yes. It only invested a small amount, leaving only about $2,000 invested. Currently, there is over $7,000 left. So I suspect that tomorrow, the 20th, it will take some action. We will observe it then. Now, I first thought of this problem because I saw many people online mentioning OpenClaw helping people make money. I asked Gemini about it, and Gemini's response was, this OpenClaw is indeed quite good. Its gold content is about 70%. But seriously, one agent can help you control your computer. Your computer can be 100% handed over to its control, unlike previous agents, or some things that could only act as a chatbot, like those we are familiar with, and they could only chat with you. They couldn't control your computer. Not being able to control it leads to many problems, such as, when we give it something, you still have to analyze its words yourself, deciding what can and cannot be done, and if you yourself don't know much about the technology, or aren't familiar with computer operations, it's really helpful. So OpenClaw has indeed realized the key point of AI controlling the computer. Then there's the other 30% that Gemini mentioned, which is mostly hype and shilling, because it has issues like misjudgments. The biggest problem is it might accidentally delete your entire page, or delete every file in an entire folder. We all know that kind of deletion is terrifying. And another thing is, it might suddenly upload your content, bam, straight to the public internet. So I asked Gemini, does a big company like Google have anything that can compete with the lobster OpenClaw? He mentioned, Google has something called Jarvis. Now, compared to OpenClaw, Jarvis still has things it can't do regarding full PC control. Currently, it's still primarily a chat-based agent, so I feel its controllability isn't that strong yet. But I thought, since you can't control the computer, you've got to do something else, right? So I continued to ask, Google, can you put multiple agents together? You have many things inside, like your AI Studio, which we call as for short, and Gemini, and anti-gravity. Can they be grouped together? He said sure. He said, you can put all these things together. For example, anti-gravity acts as a design expert, Stitch acts as a UI expert, but it still can't achieve one-click combination. I think non-technical viewers might be getting a bit confused by now, wondering what I'm talking about. I'll give a quick overview. Later I heard about Elon Musk's Grok for Point 2. For Point 2 has multiple agents communicating with each other. Can you turn mine into a multi-agent collaboration too? Gemini immediately told me yes, yes. Multi-agent collaboration. Anyway, just imagine a company where you originally hired 4 people. Now you only need 1 person. One person's mind is divided into 4 sections. Each section is responsible for different content. They will also bicker with each other and contradict each other, then finally reach a decision. This decision you can call the person responsible for the final call the CEO. It's that simple. And look at me, I made a plan, divided into 4 parts, 1 responsible for market research, 1 for technical auditing, 1 for the final decision and approval. That's the big boss, and finally 1 responsible for aesthetics. Because once something is made, people have to look at it. And then another story came out, saying someone gave Claw, the lobster, $50. As a result, in 1 month, he earned nearly $3,000. So I asked if this is actually feasible. In reality, there are 100,000 agents trying to place bets. In the end, it was only reported that 99,999 died, and only 1 was reported. So that's survivorship bias. However, it also said that for humans, in terms of win rates, I wins completely. Humans often fail due to a lack of discipline, so they lose. But it also reminded me, first, never give AI your wallet's private keys. Second, don't do, well, it's best to do shadow testing first. That is, a virtual market paper trading. So Gemini immediately helped me with this kind of preparation. You need to prepare this and that. You need to prepare it like this. Let them operate like that. Just let them go to the Moomoo webpage individually. Do virtual testing. Just simulation, simulated stock trading, and carry it out within there. After all, at the start, never use real capital for actual operations. Instead, use a simulation portfolio. For example, give it $100,000 virtual first. Let it be inside, making its own decisions to buy or sell. Even if it loses, your own real money won't be gone. Now, entering the actual operation, you can see, the stock group first did research on Moomoo's transaction fees, because I required them to have an initial capital of $100,000 and earn 20% per month, which is $20,000. They evaluated the transaction fees and found them acceptable. Then they found that this money is controllable for them. So, based on the information obtained by the intelligence officer, they analyzed several stocks. GEV, let me add that GEV is a GE Vernova stock, mainly related to electricity and power, and they believe the cost is approximately 0.02%, which is lower than their far below the 20% growth target. So they felt it was acceptable. Then they mainly mentioned pipelines and energy. This is the decision regarding electricity as the basic concept for their stock purchase. And now it begins. Decided to split as 30% power, 30% Google, 20% IT defense, and 20% cash held in reserve. You can see this is alpha, beta. There is a very clear division of labor. Then they were preparing to do this at the opening on the 19th. Then the 19th began. During the trading session, prices came in. These are the quotes for the 3 stocks, like 818, 300, and 239. Then GEV opened and performed steadily. It didn't break the 825 alert line, so they bought 50% first. Then they went all in on Google and ITA. ITA is, well, ITA is a defense stock. This is mainly because it fits the current situation in Iran, which is changing rapidly. So they bought defense stocks to handle the returns from this situation. I can see Google's volume ratio now, and you can see this is their meeting record. Then we can see, in the second meeting, it was set. At this time, the intelligence officer said, their RSI is already close to 80, so now, do not continue buying. So they currently maintain GEV 18 shares, Google 100 shares, and ITA 23 shares positions. They maintain discipline. I think this discipline is quite good. Then you can see at 10 o'clock, it already rose by 1.9%, nearly 2%. Then another 1.1%, 1.7%. If a single day rise exceeds 1%, it means it has reached today's goal. But because there are also drops and losses, you must look at the long term, not the short term. We see They met again, the second meeting at noon. This is the third time the stock price had a pullback. The results of the meeting. You can see the content. This is what they talked about in the meeting. Regarding small cap stocks, like IWM, but considering the Friday pullback effect, since yesterday was Thursday, they didn't suggest chasing highs to open new positions late in the session. Kept 20% in cash, as a defense. Finally, we see they. Real time, they. Bought today, Thursday well, yesterday. Bought 3. Then I thought, they said, buying and selling stocks. Well, can they do anything else? You aren't just using one computer for this little bit of work. My computer is okay. Not extremely strong, but not bad either. You said well, Gemini helped me do prediction betting markets. And also an automated AI self-media. And also big whale arbitrage. Then it also told me to do Microsoft had multiple choice questions. It said there's no need. It's like begging with a golden bowl. Then I compared several markets. The speed of making money. Which ones are fast? Which have high win rates? Entry barriers. Low, medium, high. Finally, I saw, the first one. Polymarket. This is good. So, now I use a dual group competition in the prediction market, which is relatively conservative. Its judgment must differ from the current market consensus. Buy an edge greater than 15% before betting is allowed. Then for Project B, as long as it's greater than 5%, it's fine. So now I have 3 groups in total. You can see what they are focusing on in here. Anyone can take a look. Actually, I don't always check the details very closely myself. This is all summarized by the AI. I think they have very good ideas. But I can't say they are all correct. In this aspect, I also constantly use information I've searched from other sources, and some judgments I've obtained from other eyes, to feed back to them, but I always remind them. The decisions are made by themselves. I don't make the decisions for them. This, you should be able to see. I mentioned these things to them, and filtered some out. This is when I took that Group B beta group situation, and told Gemini about it. I asked Gemini to help me analyze the perspectives and various views through this, which is defense in this area. Regarding defense, because I just happen to have the stock group by defense assets as well. So in that case, it gave a reminder. Gemini gave a reminder to let them create a linkage. If a prediction on the defense side suddenly has an edge deviation, meaning a large exchange occurs, it needs to alert the stock group. This kind of possibility could cause issues. So you can look here. Gemini gave a reminder, but actually, my group is currently very clunky. The speed is particularly slow, and it consumed a lot of time doing things. My Group B is very fast. Group A, because it's constantly reading web pages. The stock group bought 3 stocks. You can see them, 3 stocks. So, currently the gross profit for today, GAV was bought into batches. The first time was at 818. The second time was at 829. These are Google and this ITA. And finally, its strategy and observation. Let's look at the prediction market. Group B. Initial capital $10,000 virtual. Current balance it has already bought over $2,000 worth. And that's it. Well, that's about it for the content on the 19th. But I think it's very interesting to watch the dialogue between these group members. Among them, it gave me a lot of inspiration, somewhat exceeding my imagination. Especially one sentence said by the CIO intelligence officer. He said, "The end of AI is power." That's the main reason they bought GV, which is GE Vernova. So I think, is this their own thinking, or did they get some information from somewhere? I want to save this for the weekend to talk about it properly. Saturday and Sunday, I'll do a special episode, specifically to talk about their thought process. Then tomorrow the 20th, second episode, maybe I will spend more time on Group B. Also, because Group A has now decided to stop, tomorrow it will have a new role. We'll see then what new form Group A will take. And for Group B, what kind of changes they have achieved. Thank you everyone. Wish everyone a prosperous year of the horse.
大家马年财源广进。